guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is me again, Dudson Toys or Nurse Mark Chow. Of course, to those who are new in my channel, again, my name is Mark. I'm a registered nurse here in UK, of course in UAE and in the Philippines. For today's vlog, it's gonna be something informative, yes. So it's been quite a while since my sitting vlog. So today is, what's today's date? It's 13th. Yeah, it's 13th of May 2023. We just had an FLC party, or that's gonna be the event wherein we welcome new nurses here in Leeds. Again, I'm still here in Leeds and I'm still practicing nursing in dialysis unit. Well, enough about that. Let's talk about the vlog. So for today's vlog, it's going to be a simple question and answer. It's more about the questions that I've been asked about, of course, from YouTube and from Instagram. There are my fellow nurses who are asking me things about how is UK, how is Leeds, because they're about to come here in Leeds. Sometimes they're just around Leeds. So they're asking me, how's the life? How is the OSCE examination? How is the support system? So that's the questions I'm going to answer. So I'm going to post it here. So I'm gonna make something here. I'm gonna show something here. The actual question that they ask, and I'm gonna answer it now. So I don't have any script to read, so I'm gonna answer it as I view it. Again, guys, I'm not saying that I am a professional on these things. I'm just answering it based on my experience. I just want to say that I've been a nurse here. It's been 1 year and 3 months since I've been here in UK. It's kind of a roller coaster ride. Wala pa tayo sa exciting part, right? Yeah, hopefully I could still share things. Enough about that. Let's go to the main topic. So let me just put a title on it. Me answering questions that's being asked from social media. So again, this is a DM and private message. So let's get through it. So let's begin. I have my phone with me since na-print screen ko most of the questions rather than writing all the questions, right? And I'm gonna answer it. Let's just do a Taglish because I'm gonna read it out loud. Well, basically you can read it because I'm gonna put something here in this area. That's why I put it empty. I just stayed on the left side of the screen, or is it right or left? Well, I don't know. Anyway, guys, so let's begin. I don't know how many is this or how many are this, so let's begin. So first one. So the question is, so she's just basically asking me, is there a hospital that would consider her experience even though she is mostly work in aesthetic department? She also asking me if how could she apply as a community or like an OPD, because she doesn't want a demanding hospital experience, which is true. By the way, guys, NHS, especially in ward, not all wards, but mostly it's really a demanding work, since you really need to do not just physical, not just clinical expertise or clinical procedures, which is really demanding, especially if you have something, well, let's just say may back pain ka, or let's just say you're not really physically fit. So it's really demanding job. Also, on the second part is she's asking if there's an option that she could request for a fixed shift, which is a day shift. Well, her reason is she doesn't really like night shift. Mahina siya sa puyatan. So I don't know what's the English term for it. Maybe I'll just write it in the sub description here. Well, anyway, guys, let me just answer it. Again, this is my experience, or this is just my knowledge. So definitely, even though you have only experience in one area, you could be still considered in other areas, because again, guys, NHS, they really need nurses, since most of the, well, you know the issues here, lack of staff, payment is not corresponding to the inflation rate, so things like that. So basically, yeah, they really need nurses here, and it's really fast. The nurse turnaround is really fast. Definitely, they're gonna check your experience for sure. So based on your experience, they're gonna put you in a certain area where you have accumulated experience with. But sometimes it doesn't really go like that. You can be assigned to any other areas. So yeah, you can request, yes, definitely. You can request for a fixed shift, but no, it's not gonna be permanent thing. Some area, that depends on your line manager. That depends on the staffing. Even though you really need it, well, you can't really do it. But there are some cases wherein you can just talk to one of your colleagues to have a swap. Then yeah, you could still get it. So that depends. So this question is a yes, and it depends. So that's my answer for it. Okay, so that's the first one. Let's go to the second. So here's the second one. So let me just have a quick look of it. So this friend of mine is about to be deployed, and yes, it's really fast. Once you have the proper documents, once you pass the certain examinations, especially English examinations, then the process will just take 2 or 3 months and you're bound to UK. Question here is, ano mapapayo mo? So what can I share about the OSCE examination? So I have an OSCE examination vlog before, but I believe that's it's not appropriate. Well, it's still appropriate even this year, but I'm not part of the batch of nurses wherein we're gonna take a professional values and evidence-based examination. Before it was only 5 each. Now I think it's 10 per each or 15 each. So I'm not part of those, or I'm not part of that batch anymore. So I came from a bit early stage, which for me it's still hard. Well, I talked to someone who had taken the examination before, and he said that the problem is not the evidence base of the professional values. It's more of the implementation stage. So again, just a recap. In OSCE, we have a assessment, the planning, the implementation, the evaluation. He's saying that it's always on the implementation part that they're having a problem with. People are saying that they haven't really completed the implementation stage. They lost track of time. They didn't have enough time, or they didn't finish the stage itself, or sometimes wrong medication has been given. Again, implementation stage is all about medication administration, even oxygen, of course. So that's it. They've taken the examination, I think February or March this year, and out of the 36 nurses, only 3 pass. Yeah, unfortunately 3 pass. So I think to answer the question, ano may papayo ko regarding OSCE? Well, it's really hard to say things wherein it's different when you actually on the examination, and I know because based on my experience, it's really different situation. I lost track of time, even though I know I practiced it multiple times. There's still a bit of strangeness to it. Let's just say that you need to check your time, because there's a big time countdown in every examination. So you really need to check it. And once you evaluated yourself as being slow, you need to rush things in a safest way. You don't need to explain everything. You just need to explain what is appropriate. When it comes to counting tablets, there's a B and F. There's always a B and F. It's a tablet. They're gonna provide a tablet, and you need to check the medication there. Just mention what's the medication for, the side effects, the contraindication, and even if it's safe. So you need to mention that. No need to go any further. Just mention it out loud, and that would be fine. And then proceed to the medication itself. I think that's the only advice that I could give you guys based on the findings, based on the things that I heard recently. You really need to practice in the implementation stage, because that's where most of the nurses fail. Mind you guys, even though I didn't complete the implementation stage, I still passed the examination. So it doesn't mean that you didn't complete it, automatically it's failed. No. So I think that's the thing that I could say about this question. Okay, let's go to the third one. So third, so the question here is, she's just asking is there any way that she could view the marking criteria for the OSCE? I believe that there's a website for NMC wherein you can, there's even a YouTube wherein you can check the marking criteria. It will show which part you really need to establish or you really need to show to the examiner, because we're examining, right? And based on that, if you pass it, then you could really get a good grade or you could really pass the examination more. And it also shows a red flag wherein if you did it, it's automatically failed. Yeah, so I would answer for this question that there is a website and there is a YouTube wherein you can practically see the marking criteria, and if it's not the exact marking criteria, it's gonna tell you what are the red flags on this particular procedure or in particular examination. Well, yeah, that's my answer for it. So let's go to, I think, the fourth one. Fourth, so let's read. She's just asking me if the school is free here in UK, and the simple answer is for that is yes. So from nursery until year 11, again, mali pala. From nursery until second year in college, the education is free. I don't know how you put that in Filipino education system. So if I'm gonna answer this question again, yes, nursery until second year college to third year college is free here. But university, it is not free. Just like America, the kid should apply for a student loan unless you have money. Okay, so let's go to the fifth. So ito na yung fifth, right? Okay, so hi po, Nurse Mark. So she's been watching my vlogs. Thank you so much for watching my vlogs, and I hope you do continue watching it even though sometimes it's not kalokohan lang, like day in my life, just vlogging my family. I hope you do watch it because it makes me, the more people watch my vlog, it makes me feel like I do want to continue this thing and I do want to upload hindi lang video, yung talagang high quality video. So thank you so much again, and please do continue watching. Anyway, let's go back to the question. So our family plans to relocate in UK, particularly in Leeds. Oh, okay, good. Is it really difficult to look for a house flat to rent if we go there all together po as a family? If I'm gonna answer it personally, I have two sides. So first side is, of course, alam naman natin there's pros and cons regarding this thing. Basically, the first one I'm gonna say is, yeah, you can do that. You can bring all your family all together because obviously there are some friends of mine who are working here that from the very beginning they brought their family along with them. I don't know how they did it. Before coming here, they searched for an Airbnb, I think, or maybe they know someone here personally and they managed to get a house before even coming here. So yeah, people did that, but of course it's not an easy thing to do. Syempre, for me, if I want to see a house, I really need to see everything in it before considering to rent a place, right? I came here in UK alone. I'm from Abu Dhabi. I've stayed for 3 or 4 months being alone before even booking my kids, including my wife from Abu Dhabi and from the Philippines to here. That time I did really search for houses through online or even some personal connections. I went to house hunt. Naalala ko may house hunt vlog pala ako, which I didn't really finish. It's only part 1 because so busy. I did a house hunt, even though it's not my house that I'm looking for. It's my friends. I came along just to see a glimpse of, or just an idea of how much a house costs, or ano yung itsura ng lugar here in Leeds particularly. So if I'm gonna pick a side, I'm gonna go for please plan. It's really hard once they're here. It's really hard to go around. It's really hard to manage things when you have your family with you. Hindi ko masasabi pabigat, pero ganun eh. You're in a different country, so kahit ikaw, you don't know what to expect. Ba't mo pa idadamay yung sila kung pahirapan, diba? Again, sa akin lang yun. It's up to you, okay? Let's go to the next one. I think it's just a continuation of the question. So I've given her a website, that's zoopla.com.uk and rightmove.com.uk. So it's there's other website of course, but that's where I search personally. So the question is, it's about the guarantor. So there are cases wherein when you found a house, they're gonna ask for a guarantor letter. Sometimes they're not gonna ask that. Sometimes they do. So a guarantor letter, basically, it's a letter that states that in the case that you're not able to provide the monthly amount of rent that you need to pay for them, that guarantor or that person as a guarantor will will shoulder the amount or will take responsibility. Pananagutan ka. So kung ano man ang ginawa mo mali, madadama yun. So it's really hard to look for a guarantor unless they really trust you or you personally know them. May mga Pinoy naman here in UK that you can ask for a guarantor. There are some that you need to pay. Just to answer this, guarantor, there are some houses renting agency that will ask for a guarantor letter, and there are some that won't. So it's a thing that would really throw you off when it comes to hunting or house hunting. That's why sometimes it's really easy to look for a flat or house share. Madali lang eh. So yeah, that's the answer. Let's go to the next one. Next one. She is saying that the husband is the main applicant, so she's gonna be the dependent. She's only asking if within 2 months makakahanap ba sila ng house here in Leeds, and I would answer it a yes. You can definitely find a house here in Leeds within 2 months. Yes. Kung di ka lang choosy, that depends on the area, of course. You can do your research. I wouldn't say anything regarding a certain area, or I wouldn't say against a certain area, because syempre naman, you can do your research. You can do research about areas that you need to avoid living here in Leeds. You can search it in Google. Masasabi ko sa inyo, kahit nasa Google yun, kahit na it's a dangerous place, may mga Pinoy pa rin doon. And once I interview them, they're gonna say, no, lahat naman dangerous place. Walang safe place sa mundo. So that depends on certain things. I think weather na lang, or God's intervention. Parang sama, no? If it's bound to happen for you, then wala tayong magagawa. Ganun talaga eh. Chances. It's not really impossible for you not to find a house. Yeah, that's it. That's the answer. So let's go to the next one. Next one. Usually po 1 month advance, 1 deposit po ba ang rent ng flat house dyan? Kasi may nababasa ako sa comments sa mga group. I haven't seen anyone asking, or I haven't seen agency asking for 3 months, 6 months advance. I haven't heard anything about it. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, since I'm just 1.5 years here in UK. So maybe there are. Again, I'm not sure, but if I'm gonna answer it based on my personal experience or knowledge, I haven't seen any post or even heard things that you need to pay for 3 months or 6 months advance. Instead, the most common thing here is you need to pay for a 1 month advance and a 1 month deposit. So basically, you're paying 2 months. Yeah, so that's how I answer the question. Let's go to the next one. So, Nurse Mark, may na-encounter na ba kayo na yung main applicant nasa... Well, I would answer the question as, I think, yeah, you can technically do this? Yeah, I think so. So as long as you don't do it for more than 2 months, I think. There's some trust that offers 2 or 3 months accommodation to the main applicant, and if you have those kind of offer, so the family couldn't stay basically on the accommodation that the NHS trust arranged for you. Yeah, they can't do that. It's only for you. If you have a friend out far away from that area, I think they could stay there. Remember, once they come here in UK, they need to go to post office to get their BRP card, and that BRP card can only be taken on the post office near to where you are staying, where your husband or your wife is staying. For example here in Leeds, if the husband or your wife is working in LGI or in St. James, the post office will be near that place, and it's mostly in the city center. You as an applicant, the main applicant, will go to that post office to take the BRP card. And once you have taken it, of course, including your dependents, including your wife, your kids, they need to go there to pick up their BRP cards. So if they're gonna stay in other places, they can't get that card unless, of course, they're gonna be staying in a hotel. Sabihin na natin 1 linggo sila nasa hotel or near the place where we're gonna work, then yeah, I think you can do that. Just huwag nyo ng tagalan. Well, there's gonna be an issue regarding address, because you really need to input the address that you're gonna stay. I would say do research. I don't know how to answer this, but I think I answered yeah, that's possible as long as you use the same address as your husband, so you won't have any problem. I think that's what I answered here. So again, this question, take a bit of grain of salt and do your own research, right? Okay, next question. Next question. So we have here, hi sir, I'm watching your vlogs po. Can I ask you again? Thank you for watching my vlogs. Kamusta po ang OSCE sa Leeds? So they're gonna be, yeah, so she's just asking how is the OSCE examination? Same as the previous question. I would say that I have a bit of mixed information regarding this. I've heard that the Leeds testing center is okay now. They managed to, I think they adjusted their grading system, so people are passing more frequently rather than 80% or 90% of the best takers failed. And the other information that I'm getting is, kaya nga sinabi ko kanina, based on the 36 who took the examination on February of this month, only 6 passed, or 3 on the first take, although they already passed 36 of them, they already passed on the second take. So I would say just prepare for the OSCE examination. Don't think about the things that you keep on hearing about. Huwag na kayong ano ba yun? Huwag nyo naintindihan. Sooner or later, you will still take the examination, whether in Leeds or in any other place. And if you are destined not to pass the first take, you're destined not to pass the first take, I think. So I would say that technically she's just asking how's the OSCE in Leeds. So that's what I can say as of now. Please be prepared. That's what I can only tell you guys. Okay, so next one. Next one. So, hi sir, good afternoon. I'm your follower po sa YouTube. I'll be taking OSCE din po sa Leeds soon. Pwede po makahingi ng mark. Oh, sure. So she's asking for a marking criteria. I don't really have any marking criteria anymore. Parang ano na lang eh, dumaan na lang sa buhay ko. Marking criteria can be viewed in NMC website, I think, and also in YouTube, I think. So you just need to know about the things that you need to do on a specific skill or procedure. Once you achieve that, then you're good to go, and don't do things that is marked as a red flag, because it's automatic fail. Okay, next. So here, hi Nurse Mark, my name is Kababayan from PH who is scheduled to take her OSCE. So I was trying to search PH-related videos on YouTube, and I came across a video very informative, and Simon Lidson, yep, thank you so much. Please keep on watching. So this is the question. So Counting days, nagpa-panic, WHITBY might ask for additional tips or advice. Still about the reputation of leads being failing candidates or path takers regarding OSCE examinations. Yeah, because again guys, leads still new this time around. Even now, even the examiners are new, they're being assessed as well. While you're doing your examination, someone is assessing you, and that person who assessing you is being assessed as well. So double whammy. And yeah, so of course they're gonna be strict because they need to follow. They don't have any considerations. My advice would be, before the examination, and this is based on my experience, this is how I do things, this is how I practice when it comes to big events or big thing that I need to do, especially tests or exams. 2 days before the test, even just a day before the examination, don't do anything. Just relax, watch things that you really want to do. So watch series or Korean novella or whatever you want to do. Just play games, go outdoors, just distress, just relax. That's the only thing that is important when it comes to examination. Di naman tayo bago sa examination. We've been through hell. Personally, me, I've been through a lot, and I managed to overcome things, and I managed to bring my family here. Although I still don't have the money. Wala tayong mga money. But money comes in eventually, right? So that's my personal advice for you. Let's go to the next one. So she's just saying, she's just feeling wow kasi napasa ko siya in one day. And she's asking permission if she could ask me things regarding OSCE exam. So first question here is the materials and equipment of each skill. So this is clinical procedure that you need to perform, and you really need to do it according to the marking criteria. She's asking if all the materials and equipments of each skill are naka-ready na, or if they need to assemble, or sila ba yung pipili kukuha. So yeah, you don't need to prepare it. Well, again, this is based on my experience. So once you enter the room, everything that you're going to perform, it's already been prepared, and they're gonna ask you if you need more things to do before they're gonna start. So just check everything. If you're, so alam mo na, pagpasok mo pa rin ng room, tatanungin ka ng ganun, makikita mo na, ay, I'm gonna do this. Ito pala gagawin ko. From that point of time, try to remember the things that you did. Try to ready yourself that this is what you're going to do, and take it slow. Then once you're ready, just say yeah. So that's the time that the clock will begin. So next here is yung mga yes, definitely. During review time, mas worse pa yung mga medication, because it's gonna ask you so many medication that you need to check. This is implementation stage, she is asking, by the way. So there are times that 4, 5, 6, 7 medications are being asked, and you just need to give 1 or 2. So it's just a way for you to be confused. But in the actual examination itself, ako sa akin 7 medications are being asked. But once you really read about it, don't get your anxiety running. Just read about the prescription. There are some red flags that made the prescription itself not valid. So definitely you cannot give it. Just mention it. Oh, it's not valid. So I need to escalate this to the doctor. Yeah, that's the only thing that you can say. So next here is particular. So this is asking, she's asking if, is there a particular sequence regarding PPE? So I don't know now, but when I'm doing the OSCE examination, due to COVID, before entering the room, or once you enter the room, the examiner will tell you, please wear an apron and gloves as precautionary for COVID. So before you even begin the test. So question is, do you need to do another gloving? I-mention mo na lang na nagbago ka ng gloves. There are some people who do double gloving just to simulate the actual scenario itself. It doesn't matter, just mention it. Even though it's not part of the marking criteria, just mention it. Again, you're there to do a safety thing, so as long as it's safe, it's a good point. Okay? So yeah, that's the answer. Let's go to the next one. mentioned that it's not particularly part of the marking criteria, but there are some skills that the PP is really part of it. So she's asking me what cases or skills nakuha, what about the assessor, is it live actor, pang sorry po. So during this time, I have a live actor and he really acted in a way that I didn't even actually anticipated. Because everything that I asked of him, he said, I'm okay. Are you okay? Do you have any pain? He's okay. As in lahat na, I went to all assessment from head to toe. Urine, bowel movement, social. Wala siyang problema. Wala kang may lagay na planning kasi wala kang makita problema eh. What I did is I don't know, I can't remember how I managed to put the planning because I didn't manage to get any information regarding his issue. So I went to things that is more inclined to risk, to watch out for things, watch out for risk of falling. It's more of the safety side. So I went to that because there's still planning that you need to make. I even included patient comfort. And mind you, my case is asthma. When it comes to skills, anything that is regarding asthma, so that's PEFR, that's nebulization, IV fluid calculations, yeah, those things. Even though wala kang makitang problem, score is 0, you should make a planning. So yeah. Next question. What about skills, sir, sa nakalagay ang hand gel nila and pag mag-prepare validate ng meds materials, etc. naalis ka ba sa patient bedside? So this question I particularly did, if I remember correctly, I've done it on an area where you're gonna prepare medication. There's a BNF, it's a tablet, and you're gonna open all the medication details there. You're gonna mention the side effects, contraindications, and normal dosage. I did that away from the patient and I didn't get any point deduction. Well, I passed. I just mentioned it out loud. So I'm not just reading it silently, I'm trying to read it loudly. So just speak out loud regarding it. And pag magbibigay ng meds, dapat talaga ibibigay mo din ang indication and 2 side effects if not failed na. I just mentioned the indication and just 1 side effect. Just simple indication. Well, this is for antibiotic. That's it. It won't ask you what kind of antibiotic. Is it an URTI? Is it a gut antibiotic? Is it has something to do with systemic infection, or is it something to do with line infection or even pneumonia infection? Yeah, you don't need to tell that. Just antibiotic. That's it. Side effect, just mention whatever you read there. Just mention it out loud. You don't need to rush on it. And now here, EBP, that's evidence-based practice and professional values. Regarding this, I haven't heard, but of course there are people who failed this part. During my time when I took my exam, in EBP and PV, we only need to remember 5 categories. It has 9 or 8 marking criteria. I didn't really memorize everything. I just memorized the essence of the marking criteria. I didn't do word by word recitation or memorization. I didn't do that. If the essence is like this, I'm just gonna rephrase it. That's what I did. So now the OSCE examination added more, so it's not 5 EBP or 5 PV, it's gonna be 10 or 15 each. So it's really hard. It's an added toll, but yeah, that's what I can say. She's asking if she's not confident side effect with BNF. Yeah, definitely you really need to check the BNF, even though you are aware of the side effects of the medication, or it's just a simple paracetamol, just show it to them that you really check the BNF, specifically paracetamol weight. If the patient weight is below 50 kg, you can't really give a 1 gram paracetamol. That's the rule. Open. It's an easy thing to do. Don't really need to go through a technical difficulty regarding it. It's easy. Type in the medication and that's it. Even now, I'm still using BNF. Although I call it Medusa. I don't know what Medusa stands for, but that's the medication. If you're not aware of the medication, how to give it, just go to Medusa. I think Medusa is more of the administration of medication, but BNF is still about the medication itself. Have a presence of mind. So need talaga mabilis magbasa ng medication. Okay, so this question, I will not answer the first one anymore. She's asking about the planning stage. So question here is if the patient has pain, if the scenario, because there's a scenario, once you started assessment, they're going to give you a paper that has scenario on it. It will state what's the situation, actual situation, what's the patient diagnosis of, what's the patient chief complaint is. You're just gonna run through it, and then after that you're gonna do your own assessment, because whatever the scenario is, if whatever you find in the assessment itself, your own assessment itself, if the scenario has pain and during your assessment the patient doesn't have pain, you cannot include pain anymore, because even if it's a scenario thing, if your assessment is going to be your number one priority, it's not the scenario itself. It's just giving you an idea, a rough idea, but your assessment will take priority when it comes to your planning stage. So kung wala kang pain during assessment mo, ba't ka magpi-pain? Kasi nakita mo na sa scenario. No, that's a no. Okay, so let's go to next. Well guys, I think that would be the questions that they usually ask me regarding Leeds, or regarding OSCE test, or even finding house here in Leeds. There's some other questions. There are many questions, of course. It's more about the same thing. Exams, about OSCE, it's about Leeds testing center, it's about how houses goes, what's my advice in terms of finding home. Again guys, so I'm not really expert on it, so there's still some struggles, but I would say that looking for a house here in Leeds or maybe in UK is not that hard, as long as you're not choosy. Of course, wag ka na choosy. There are some people who are lucky na talaga sila na they have some family here that will support them. But for us, especially me, na I'm here in UK without anyone, without cousin, tita, tito, wala talaga. So I did everything. Good thing I have help from my church and other people as well from my ward. So don't be afraid on reaching out people here. There are many Filipino community in Leeds that will help you, and they have community here. If not monthly, maybe quarterly, there's events here. They will help you. Even me, I would help. Wag na sa pera, kasi even me, I'm still struggling. I'm still doing back shift. I'm still in. So yeah, that's gonna be the vlog for tonight. What's the time now? It's 23:52, so it's going midnight na. Andiyan pa yung mga anak ko because next week is gonna be GCSE examination. I really like to vlog about the GCSE exam, but I want to include my kids, especially my two teenagers, because they're much more aware about GCSE, and I don't want to bring additional pressure to my eldest kid because it's gonna be his first time, UK-based examination. That's the vlog for tonight. It's not a short one, I think, and I hope you got something out of it, as I usually say. And yeah, see you for my next vlog. I think my next vlog is about WHITBY. My god, it's gonna be almost a year now since I went to WHITBY, and I haven't even uploaded it yet, and my wife is really fuming. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Again, this is me, Nurse Mark, or Dots and Toys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell button. See you guys around and bye-bye!